Bonjour, Madame and Monsieur. At first, I would like to apologize me because I'm not French speaker. Thank you very much for my professor of silviculture, Vladimir Tesař, who translated the presentation into the French language, and I would like to thank to Daniel Valauri. He finalized this translation, and I hope it helped you for the understanding of my English thesis. I have been asked by organizers to present some outputs from the research of ŽOFÍN, virgin forests or ŽOFÍN natural forests, and there are the fragments of our long-term research which are oriented into the question if the natural forest is stable or not. At first, we have to ask what is the stability, because it is long-term repeated affirmation or cliché, if you want, that the natural forest is stable. But it is the question in which features it's stable, and if the obviously used definition in Middle Europe about the stability of stability in the forest ecology is oriented into the reproduction of fundamental features. It is in this if the main question for us is if the natural forests is possible to reproduce these features. It is the question for us as the researchers, but the definition of stability for forest practitioners in silviculture is very different, because it is oriented into the permanency and equability of yield, because it is the yield of trees is the main goal of production of forestry. And if we want to ask if the natural forest is stable, we have to ask at first which are the fundamental features, which features is possible to study using some hard data, not only the empiric approach. And we have to ask on which scale we study this feature, in which time, because it's a very important factor for the stability assessment, and we have to find some optimal parameters for the measuring the stability. It is the question if it is, for example, tree species composition in long time, if it is DBH distribution around the areas, if it is the natural regeneration dynamics, etc. And I would like to present the fragments of complexity as the example of spontaneous dynamics in ŽOFÍN natural forest. Only for your orientation, it is a natural forest located in southern Bohemia, Central Europe. It is a typical natural temperate forest composed by beech, silver fir, and Norway spruce. It's interesting. It's our connection with your country. It was established in 1838 by Count Georges Langevin Boucois. This family Boucois came to Bohemia in the 17th century, and this Count Boucois was inspired by romantic ideas on Jean-Jacques Rousseau, born in Chambéry, and on the base of these romantic ideas about the spontaneous nature, he established his private forest reserve named ŽOFÍN. It was the name of his wife. And this is from our point of view, absolutely typical site of temperate forests in middle mountains. They are very high productive sites, and in ŽOFÍN we use for our research the largest data set, 3 times measured full area, 3 times measured of position of 24,000 trees, and it was the base for the studying the spontaneous dynamics and answering the questions about the stability. Because ŽOFÍN is not only the flagship of Middle Europe, it is the representative locality for continental Europe in the Smithsonian Institution global network of research plots. It is built in tropical vegetation belt and actually in the temperate vegetation belt too. Daniel Valery said about the unmanaged area of ŽOFÍN, about the ancient history. This is the detailed map of the history of ŽOFÍN virgin forest. It's necessary to separate this core zone with red dot. It is a totally unmanaged primeval forest, which was protected at first by Count Buquoy. These parts were connected with ŽOFÍN in the half of 19th century, and this is the we say natural forests, but it was locked 200 years ago at last using the shelterwood system, and this is part of actual forest reserve. This blue, this is connected 100 years ago. It's the culture forest left secondary to the spontaneous development. But our results, our studies are oriented in this black area, combine this ancient and natural and virgin forest. And what was happened in ŽOFÍN during the last 200 years, because the oldest data in archive is possible to find in 1847. The first, it is the question if the feature of stability could be three species composition. Here is in 1847 the main three species was the spruce, 55% of three species composition of, and the minority was at the beech, only 10% of in three species composition. Here between 1888 and 1975 we don't have the exact data, non-inventory was done. But if you show this 100 years from last inventory 1888 to 1975, it is the very strong invasion of beech possible see. And the second strong change is the decreasing of silver fir in three species composition. And it's the question, if you show the actual three species composition, minimum of silver fir, domination of beech, and plus minus the stable composition of spruce, it is the question if the three species composition could be the reference for the stability. If we show, if we look the history, this is this part affected by man 200 years ago. This is in history unaffected part. Here is a possible the reaction of natural regeneration after the last shelterwood 1810, and 95% of regeneration was in gaps, and it was an absolutely domination of the beech. Here is possible to see the reaction of trees in after last large disturbance, natural disturbance in unmanaged part, in 1880, and the reaction of trees mainly in the gaps, but we have to ask why mainly in gaps. It's the reaction of silverfare, these peaks. They are the reactions after the disturbances, but here is possible. Here is the answer why the silverfare is very bad reproduced actually, because the very strong air pollutions in the half of 20th century. But back to the question why the beach is so successful in the development, in the spontaneous development. When we analyzed the gap history in ŽOFÍN and compare it with the natural regeneration maps, it was clarified that the beaches absolutely dominate on all places on which the litter layer is growing up, and when the litter layer is growing up, the silverfare has no chance to be successful in natural regeneration. And second, because no predators in our landscape, a lot of red deer is concentrated in forest reserves, like the islands of relatively quiet space for the wild game, and very hard browsing of, especially of silverfare, is possible to see here. But definitely the beach was most successful in the gaps on the size 50 to 100-150 square meters. Here is possible to see the expansion of beach in last 35 years. Is the same story about the colonization of ŽOFÍN by beach in the gaps. Here this is old, we say, spruce belt. It is part of this shelter wood, 200 years old, and the beach totally colonized this belt, totally colonized the spruce regeneration, because under the canopy was beech more successful than the spruce, and when the canopy was naturally open, the beech started faster than the spruce regeneration, which was in bad condition. And now we are in the situation when the beech is a total dominator of tree species composition in this virgin forest. And I ask you again, are the fundamental features reproduced here after 200 years after these changes? And is ŽOFÍN, is this natural forest stable according to tree species composition? I think not. The second feature or second case could be the soil dynamics. Everybody said, okay, the soil dynamics is very long-term process, but when we studied with our team the soil dynamics, we have been confronted with the traditional soil evolution hypothesis, which is about the continual or linear soil development. But my colleagues found the new name for these processes. They are the plowing primeval forests, because when the temperate primeval forests are disturbed every time by wind, it's we can't speak about the linear development of soils, and this is very different situation in the soil development and in the changes of potential condition for natural regeneration than in a natural forest, and it's very different than in productive forests, because in natural forests the natural restart, in managed forests, the natural restart by the wind throw, natural restart of soil evolution is stopped. And if you show the analysis of soil features in managed forests and the natural forests. They are very different parameters were studied, and there are very different results. And we can't say that the stability of natural forests or the soils in natural forests is for us the example for production of forestry. For example, if we studied the microrelief and the success of seedlings in this microrelief, it is necessary to say that the windrows changes the microreliefs very hardly. It's absolutely different from managing forest. And when this microrelief is disturbed, it is the changes of conditions for natural regeneration. When the natural regeneration, the tree species composition in the natural regeneration is changed, it is the long-term changing of tree spatial patterns, and this is the question about the dynamics is again back, because we have to ask if does represent this feature the stability of forests. From my point of view, no, because it's a very dynamic process. And the third and last feature or example from this searching the stability features is about the patch dynamics. We have assessed the patch dynamics using the stem position map in 70s, 90s, and after the storm Kirill in 2008. If you show the maps, there are the strong changes after the Kirill. These green patches, they are the freshly disturbed plots, and everybody says, okay, this is the very large change. This natural forest is no stable. It was large discussion in our country. A lot of foresters said, we have to help to ŽOFÍN, to help go back on the spontaneous trajectory after these disturbances, because it is this largest disturbance is 10 hectares, totally overgone by wind, no standing trees. It was very hard wind in 2007. But when we have assessed this long-term mean patch size, if you show ŽOFÍN, the mean patch size of different stages is different. But if you assess the whole locality, whole 72 hectares, the mean patch size is absolutely stable during the time, during all disturbances. And if you compare it with the other flagships, Boubin, like the best Middle European mountain forests, and Salaika, this is the best West Carpathian natural forest, mixed by silver fir and beech, they are the same results, absolutely different changes in tree species composition, in soil dynamics, in other parameters, but mean patch size is very, very stable for the time. And this is very interesting, because the average area of the patch in long time through the temperate European temperate natural forests is between 600 and 700 square meters, with very high variability, but the mean patch size no changes. And it's a question if we found one feature which can be applied for the first definition, that these natural forests are able to reproduce some fundamental feature. And if we calculated this mean patch size and produced these results, we defined some hypotheses. If or when this mean patch size is long-term stable, theoretically the timber volume and on the whole area have to be stable too, because every developmental stage is defined by some ratio of thin and thick trees, is defined by ratio of living and dead trees. And this is the result of this calculation. If you show the data from 1975, it was 786 cubic meters per hectare in ŽOFÍN. And 33 years ago, after the storm Kirill, it was 836. It is not so high variability after so strong changes in the tree species composition in the on the area which was very hardly disturbed. But in this figure is possible to show the changes during the time, because here is this increasing of dead wood. It is the reaction of the dieback of silver fir after the air pollution impact. This increment of new trees, it is the symptom of invasion of beech, which changed the tree species composition and catch the space of the natural forest. And here these data are not so representative, because it's only 11 years, not 22 years like here. But here there's a new portion of dead trees. It is the case of storm Kirill. But from this point of view, the ratio living and dead wood is very different. But the timber volume and the speed of the decomposition is very stable during the times. There are some short conclusions from this lesson. We have more examples of stability or instability in natural forests. I have presented only 3 examples, but if I assess all these features, which we have assessed, only the mean patch size and average timber volume were long-term and more or less stable on the scale of whole area of natural forests. And other features from our point of view present only non-linear development, soils, tree species composition, etc. And we have to accept that in this development is a indirect human impact included too. It's, for example, this problem with the red deers is typical indirect impact. And some illustration photo, what is the stability in the ŽOFÍN, is possible to see on these pictures. There are the same places after the storm Kirill. This is a second picture after the storm, and this is for us, and I think especially for foresters, the never-ending question: what is the stability, in which type of stability we wish for our work? Thank you very much for your attention.